Destins, this is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we're going to be talking about security control and rookie rush. Where did they kind of go in Bt-7? Like, they kind of faded off. Like, it was like Megazoo, it kind of just came and gone, and just like that. Why is that the reason? Let's dive right into the video, and let's see my thoughts on why it has. So let's talk about it. Let's dive right in and let's check out what happened here. We have Bt-6, Bt-7 meta right here just to take a look at. And let's just take a look at what happened to Rookie Rush, to be honest with you. Rookie Rush. So with it, we had roughly about 12 decks classified Rookie Rush. And then let's go to security control. We had roughly 24 decks. And then let's even go into Bellastar. Bellastar had like 48 decks. Bellastar. Let's see. Bellastar had like the most high running deck. Like another 22 decks. So it really showed off that security control was kind of one of these dominating decks in the format for Bt-6 going into EX1. It wasn't going anywhere, wasn't going to be phased out by anything or anyone, and then all of a sudden Bt-7 hit, and then the decks disappeared. Like, Rookie Rush, yes, we already know Rookie Rush was kind of fading out in Bt-6 meta, but security control shouldn't have. We got like 3 decks for Rookie Rush in Japanese meta, which is quite interesting to me. And then if you do security control, you're down to 9 decks. What happened? In my opinion, there's a lot that went on with this. And even let's go into Bellastar. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Bellastar decks that really did anything in that format. That's crazy. Most of these decks really shine so high and mighty in Bt-6 that it was control deck city. What happened? And I think what happened to everything going forwards was the inductions of the tamers produced something security control couldn't handle anymore. I mean, besides having Digimon to deal with, every hybrid deck kind of came into existence ready to slaughter security control. The reason being was security control never had outs to tamers. If you build up a wide board enough and gain enough memory at turn where you can just swing in and your tamers are kind of your board state, and you build a big enough board state, your opponent can't do anything to you. If you can get to 10 and all it takes is 5 attacks, that's what? 5 tamers with 5 hybrids on board state. That's huge for you. That means your opponent can't win because the security control can't really win against that because you're playing a protect game outside of your raising area. So that means you could easily have 6 attacks and they had no answers to stop you. They would be lucky if they got the recovery options and stuff like that, but even going against Jessamon, dedicated plan shut you down. Alderman with this that had a hybrid or 10 warrior options check. This Digimon do not activate in security, meaning Emperor Greymon and our famous Ancient Greymon could check multiple securities without worrying about having to rely on getting an option. They just needed your Alderman here that could just instantly shut off the options for you, making it so your board state became so much of a threat that security control really struggled hardcore to keep up. There's just nothing they could do to stop these tamers. All the hybrid stuff digivolves for relatively cheap, so if you type in hybrid, let's go here. We have a Gunimons for 2s. I mean, Lobomon for 2. We have Arbomon for 2. The Digivolve on top of Tamers, by the way. And then you have this, too. You have Burning Greymon here, Digivolve for 2. So your setup got bigger and more nastier because everybody just got for cheaper cost of just being able to Digivolve for 2. This one, Kendo Garurumon here, Digivolve for 2. Instead of its huge, you know, 3 cost for Digivolve with 3 or 1 cost for a 4. Just making it so much more difficult for your opponent to deal with it. And this being a 2 cost for blue, this being a 2 cost, making it so it's just impossible to keep up. You have Kazimon, you have Zorofamon for 2, you have Jet Sylphimon that's just going to recover you for days, Beetlemon for 2, that's massive. Then you had even this Metal Kabuterimon, who memory costs 2. What is going on here? Making it so it was so difficult for your opponent to deal with all these threat and answers. Loimon for purple. Then you had Jagger Loimon for purple. Just all these threats on the board state. You have Grumblemon. Like, what was your opponent able to do when you could just Digivolve on top of a Tamer for relatively dirt cheap? And your opponent just had to take it. And that's really nasty for Security Control to handle because, like I said, 10 memory, you have a bunch of Digi-Evolutions to Digivolve for cheap. Each deck had roughly 8. You just stalled out and you just build up a Tamer wall, and hopefully you got to 10 by your Tamer's effects going from standard, like even for yellow, TK and then the TK Kyrie combos that give you an extra 2 memory if you're above your opponent. And then let's even go into Kyrie adding into that effect. You just gained so much memory, your opponent just couldn't handle it. I mean, red had an opt-out in most situations. Blue just locked down most anything that would try to swing at them. And they would only get that 1 swing a turn, or they would pop something, and you would just not care because you would just get multiple swings anyway through your Magnet Garurumons or your, you know, Ancient Garurumon. So it didn't matter what you could do. It just made it very difficult for Security Control to survive in this kind of meta format where everything just did what punished Security Control. Even Ancient Beetlemon here, once per turn when one of your Digimon with 10 warriors in his typing or hybrid deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. This means if you comboed this in with Mega Kabuterimon, you could easily make it so that you had multiple security checks at once, making it very difficult for your opponent to win game state. So that makes it really difficult for, all in all, your opponent to deal with. And let's even go into purple itself. It gained Scattered Eyes and Eismon. Security Control had the worst time picking off decks that could just easily produce wide boards for little to no cost. Eismon Scatter Mode, instantly on deletion, trash 2 cards. So if you want to kill this thing, it either died in battle or you're hoping to kill it just in general. Eismon comes in, goes, when you trash this card in your hand using one of your effects, if Eismon Scatter Mode is in your trash, you may play this card without paying its memory cost. This made it so that this one little guy, if you toss 2 Eismons, that's 2 Digimon coming out, and then you just played another Digimon. 3 Digimon they had to answer right away. Even with Zwart Swarmers and Iron Fist Onslaughts, their values were all over the place, where Eismons were 6. You killed the double Eismon with an Iron Fist, but you're still passing turn. You couldn't use Ultimate Flare against them. You can't. Your really only bet is Zwart Swarmer, Happy Bullet Shower, but even then, that's the lowest DP. You would have to hope that all 5Ks were getting popped. And that was really, at the end of days, this is what really kills off Security Control, because they have a way of spamming boards that your opponent can't handle. Now let's really talk about why Rookie Rush kind of went out. So Bellastar started the end for Rookie Rush. Zwart Swarmer, Iron Fist Onslaught, Ultimate Flare, Ice Wall, this card alone, Swart Lizards. For each Digimon with hybrid and straight tamers, you may have it in play. Delete one of your opponent's level 5s or lower Digimon. You could just keep popping and popping and popping. It didn't matter. And then, like I said, Happy Bullet Shower clears the board. Giga Storm deletes up to 2 Digimon with 8,000 DP. And then, even if we wanted to go, Atomic Blaster. Atomic Blaster alone just fixes it. Atomic Blaster deletes any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP is 8,000. That might be 2 rookies right there for a cost of 5. So if you choke them, you're just going to give them 4. And if you have another Atomic Blaster, just keep blowing their board. And eventually they don't have resources to regain. So it just made it really tough because also, even let's take into Ancient Troyamon. Being a fantastic card, it's not an Idhog, but Ancient Troyamon shut down Rookie Rush so badly it didn't matter. Especially with Green resurging, being more powerful. You also have Kikokumon here, who is, if you have a Digimon with Hybrid and Straight or Tommy, and its Digi-Evolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimons with no sources can't attack or block until the end turn. A lot of blue cards started having this effect, where if they had no sources, they can't attack. And the memory boosters alone really helped out in situations because you needed to kill a board and you wanted to choke your opponent back. Red memory boost, pop in the red. You blow up with Atomic Blaster, that thing they gave you 1 for. Now it's 3, and now you give them 2. Now they can get 2 Digimon out of that deal, but is it worth it? Because they'll set you to 2. And if not, everybody's also playing Tamers at a higher count, where now that might matter. Because now you can Digivolve on top of your Tamers for 2 costs, and choking them for 1, which they don't survive as much in their choke backs. So it's like a lot of things went wrong for these decks to be able to be phased out. I know we've had our hatred for Rookie Rush, for, you know, Mega Zoos, and all these other decks like Security Control, but they finally met their matches once sets started getting the support they needed. And this is major field changers, our Tamer variant stuff. So guys, what do you think of this video? What do you think really put the nail in the coffin for Security Control and Rookie Rush? Do you think that it's still viable? I know that we have D-Brigade and stuff like that as still competitively viable, but what do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!